Welcome everyone to Endicott College. My name is Brendan Cronin. I'm Associate Professor in the School of Hospitality Management, and I would like to thank the Greater Beverly Chamber of Commerce for inviting me to this Chop Challenge against my good friend in Salem, Sam Hunt from Roots, who are doing an incredible job. I'm here on the oceanfront property of Mistlewood, which is part of Endicott College's stunning campus. Our campus has been rated one of the top 8 scenic campuses in the country. And Mistlewood property has been rated multiple times as an award-winning venue. Mistlewood Events caters to all types of celebrations on our campus here, and also for either weddings, celebrations of any kind, plus lots of summer camps for the main campus. Additionally, Mistlewood also is home to La Chanterelle, which is our non-traditional classroom in the School of Hospitality Management, where I teach culinary arts. So now it's time to stop talking. It's time for action. Let's head to the kitchen and see what we can cook up. So welcome again. Now we're back in the kitchen, and I'm here in the kitchen of the non-traditional classroom, La Chanterelle, where I teach culinary arts. And I've got my list of ingredients, so let's get down to it right away. I was given a list of ingredients from the Beverly Farmers Market in Beverly. And the first up, I was given some chicken, so I've marinated that with some ginger and garlic and a little bit of soy sauce. I've also gotten some bok choy, which I've cut up, sliced. I'm going to make a stir fry in the interest of time. I was given a zucchini, which I have sliced in more attractive slices. I was given some fresh garlic, some red onions, and I was also given some peppers, some green peppers. I added some yellow for a little color. I was also given some tomatoes from the farmer's market, beautiful. I've taken out the seeds, I've peeled them. I will talk more about that later. And I've kept some little bok choy for decoration. I'm also using teriyaki sauce. I have a little soy sauce, and I have adding a little bit of honey for sweetness. And then we're going to top it off with some decoration of spring onions and a little sesame seed. So I'm going to move all this to one side and start our gas. I'm using a wok style. It is going to be stir fry. We need a lot of heat for stir fry, and you can see the burner here, quite a lot of heat. This burner has 30,000 BTUs. What's a BTU? British thermal units. That's how we measure the heat of gas and also for air conditioning. For example, this burner here has 30,000 BTUs. Your burners at home, the average burner stove combined with all 4 or 5 burners have about 7,000 BTUs. So this flame alone is just about 4 times more powerful than your entire stove at home. I'm using avocado oil to sear, because avocado oil has a smoke point of around 400 degrees Fahrenheit. So I'm going to put a little bit of that in. And the reason I like avocado oil is it doesn't break down under heat. Olive oil breaks down, and we damage the olive oil. So olive oil is more for salads and dressings and colder. I will be using sesame oil in a few minutes with a little bit for the vegetables. So we're ready to go here. Because this powerful heat heats up our pan very quickly, we're going to put in our chicken. And what we want to do here is just get it seared, just get some flavor, right? And you can see that we have already, you can hear sizzling, right? So we're going to put that in, and we're going to toss it around. We might get a little bit of color, we may not. We're not looking for color here, we're looking for just a little bit of sear. You can see how the meat is already turning color, right? So the proteins on the outside are coagulating and they change color. For chicken, we want it to obviously be cooked, and core temperature for chicken should be 165 degrees Fahrenheit. And we're not going to measure all of this, but I will do the touch test. So while we're waiting for that to cook, if you want to use the touch test when you want to see if a piece of chicken is cooked, you just take your hand and push on the fleshy part of your thumb, and that's the same as raw meat, which it's raw. So if you put your thumb and your forefinger together, that muscle tightens, and that's comparable with rare meat. Then you go to the next one, that's medium rare, medium, and well done. And the muscle tightens each time. So the chicken meat will also tighten. And that's a good indication for you, just to something that you have with you all the time. So here you see we are getting a little bit of color. And we're getting the chicken done nicely. And we're going to take the chicken out now because it's cooked at about 80%. And I'm going to put it in here. I'm going to leave it to one side. And now I'm going to change oils. And I'm going to take a little bit of toasted sesame oil, which gives it a very nutty flavor to the dish. I'm going to put a little bit of that inside. Not only is this a fat medium, but it also adds flavor. I'll put that to one side. And now we're going to start. We're going to lower the fire a little bit. And we're going to start with our ginger. And we're going to add a bit of ginger. We're going to add our onions. All right. And we're going to add the garlic. Now I use a garlic press. And I just pop the clove of garlic in unpeeled. And I put it inside. And then I can just press it out. And it goes right into the dish. All right. And scrape off some there. Why do I do that? I get the oils of the garlic go right into the dish. It's very different than if you buy garlic which is in a store, which may be in water or maybe frozen. It doesn't have the oils, and it's the oil in the garlic that gives the flavor to the dish. So we're stirring this around nicely. We want to get a little bit of flavor extracted from the ginger and from the garlic, and we also want the onions to give off a little bit of the bitter flavor that they have. Although there's less bitter flavor in the red onions than there is. Now we're going to add in our bok choy. And we're going to add in our peppers. And we're going to add in the zucchini. Now, all of these. And now we can turn the fire up again, real hot. This stir fry, which is originally from Asia, typically the vegetables are not overcooked as we do in Western cuisine. These are crunchy. They will be crunchy when it's all finished, and they will have a texture. And that was identified, I would say, back in the 70s and the 80s, predominantly in Hong Kong by renowned chef Paul Bocuse, French chef. And when he visited Hong Kong, and he found that the Chinese, they don't cook their vegetables all mushy like we do, a lot of us do in the Western cuisine. They eat them nice and crunchy. So he brought that concept back to France, and out of that emerged the Nouvelle Cuisine era, where foods were presented differently, and less sauces or sauces on the side, and vegetables were served crunchy. And when I teach the students that the vegetable doesn't need to be overcooked, they're surprised. And then we send it out to the restaurant, and we find some customers say, they send it back and say, well, the vegetables aren't cooked, Tell that chef he needs to go back to school or something like that. But vegetables, when they're completely cooked, you destroy a lot of the nutritional flavor that's in them. Right, so now we've got our vegetables coming along here nicely. We're going to add in our teriyaki. Teriyaki is basically a modified soy sauce with some seasoning and with some sugars added and flavors. So we're going to add that. And now we're getting some flavor in here. Now we can see that our vegetables are really coming along. Right? Now we can add in our chicken back in again, because remember we said it's only 80% cooked. So we want it to be 100% cooked. We want our customers to be happy. So you can see how it's sizzling there, right? All the flavors coming together. And now we're going to add in a little bit of honey. Just a little bit of honey, a little bit of sweetness. And I'm going to add in my tomatoes. The reason I leave the tomatoes until last is they're quite soft and they will just dissolve. They don't need to be cooked as such. I remove the skin from the tomato and I remove the seeds. Both are difficult to digest. And if we look back in classical French cuisine, tomato concassé, even then, they were removing the skin from the tomato because it's just that difficult to digest. Right? So now we've got our ingredients coming along nicely here. We have added all our ingredients. And as you can see, I have a good mixture of chicken, sauce, and vegetables. And we have a nice color combination. It's important as we begin to focus on plating afterwards that the meal is appetizing. You know, when the customer sees the plate put down in front of them, nowadays we know that the customer likes the food if they take out their phone. Take out their phone to take a picture of it, winner. They haven't even tasted it yet. But before, it was the taste, right? But the first aspect that people like about the food is the visual. And that's not unusual, because if you go to the supermarket and you're picking up, let's say you're buying apples, you're going to choose the apple that looks the nicest. You're not going to take the one with the black spots. So there are no apples in the supermarket with black spots, because marketing wouldn't allow that. So we've got our dish prepared, ready to eat, but we're going to plate it. And I have a plate here. I'm using a white plate just to show off some of the colors. And I'm going to switch this off because it is cooked, right? And you can taste it, you can add it. Always good to taste your food before you eat it. And chefs, will taste the food. And I like it. It's got a little bit of sweetness from the honey. And I will add just a tiny drop more of soy. And I'm using a coconut soy. I'm using a Bragg's, which is, I'm just going to add a little bit just to added flavor. It's a much lighter than a soy sauce made from soybeans. This is made from coconut bean. So much lighter and much more nutritious. So we've got our dish ready. Now we want to concentrate on plating. And plating is an art in itself. And I want to bring over here some rice. Now this was not on the list of ingredients, but to serve the stir fry without a starch. So I thought we would begin by putting a little rice on the plate. And we're going to put the rice right here. And then we're going to put it out. And we're going to put it right around the edge. We want a line of yellow. This rice is just a plain white rice that I cooked. Why is it yellow? I added turmeric and a little curry powder. When you're cooking rice, you start off with cold water. You're cooking pasta, you start off with hot water. Why? You want the rice grains to swell in the cold water before the water gets too hot and seals in. It doesn't allow it to swell. So there we've got our rice around the edge. And now we want to put in our stir fry in the middle. And we're going to put in a little bit of right in the middle like this. We want to have a good mixture of protein, and we want to have the colors that we put in together. Taking a little bit of red, and we don't want to overkill. So I would say that's about what we should go for. And now I'm going to put in a little decoration, which I've prepared here. I've got a little bit of spring onion, got some chopped spring onion, and I've got a little sesame, and I've got 2 little pieces of baby bok choy. It was so small and so tender, I thought it's a pity to cut it up, so I thought we'll just put 2 of them on the plate, on the edge, just so people can see this is. And then we're going to take a little spring onion that we've just cut up and made it nice so that it will stick up on top like that. And we can sprinkle a little bit of chopped spring onion around it. And then finally, a little bit of sesame seed. Now you can toast these sesame seeds, but there we go. And that is our chopped challenge. As I interpreted it from the instructions, I used all of the ingredients that were given to me, and I added 1 or 2 more just to, and something you can do at home. Noticed I had chopped and sliced everything ahead of time, and that's important. And then it took, I didn't count the time, but it took probably 10, 12 minutes to put together. You could do 2 portions, 4 portions at the same speed, but it is important that you sear the vegetables with some good heat, and probably use the highest burner on your stove at home. Now, in addition to the ingredients that I was given, I got 2 nectarines, and I wondered how can I incorporate them into the dish. And fruit really didn't go very well with the stir fry, so I cut the nectarines into segments, and I caramelized them, and then I did a balsamic reduction that I can pour over it. So a balsamic vinegar reduction that we can put along here. We can do a little spiral right into the end, right? And then I have here a tiny bit of mint leaf that can give it a little pop of color. And ideally, you're probably all saying, where's the ice cream? Not of course. That circle in the middle, you could put a bowl of ice cream, vanilla. Ideally, plain vanilla would be a good flavor because of the strong flavor of the caramelized nectarines and the balsamic glaze. So there you have it. That's my chop challenge. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you had a few minutes enjoying it and critiquing it. And sure, I will see you later on the Zoom. Thank you again.